Right everyone, welcome back to another episode, the F123 Driver Career Mode. This is the pre-season episode for Season 3. If you haven't missed any of the series so far, then I recommend you go and check those out before seeing this one. But yeah, we're going to negotiate our contract and, well, we're going to approach Ferrari. No email sent to us from Mr. Spinotto this time. Let's negotiate. Let's approach Ferrari. Approach accepted. This is not surprising considering the fact we did win a race in Alfa Romeo. Medium down the middle.
Cannot be serious.
Happy to enter into negotiations.
Let's try that again, Ferrari. Don't be like that. It means we're going to have to go for a lower wage, basically. But we have at least signed for Ferrari. I mean, this is the promotion we deserved. We deserve more than that. Yeah. And yeah, there's their claim that we should have got beforehand, that would have actually given us that salary in the first place. But anyway, I mean, there's always hope that they will change that for F124, and well, that hope will be dashed as soon as F124 comes out. Anyway, the calendar, couple of changes in the second half of the season. Singapore replaces Japan, and the Netherlands replaces Qatar. Those are the only changes. There's one less sprint race in Season 4. Obviously, we've got that quadruple header that's in the timeline for the final 4 races. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. Can we win the season? Win the championship for Ferrari? We'll have to wait and see. So yes, R&D wise, we are fastest by a bit of a margin to on the aero side. So yeah, very good for that. And we're also fastest on the chassis, although not so much to Red Bull. So that might be an area to look at. But the area of most concern is the engine. We are mid-table on the engine as well. But overall, it's not been a bad winter. Ferrari, we have closed the gap on Red Bull, which is going to be crucial if we want to challenge for the title. You know, Verstappen has won both of the championships so far in Season 1 and Season 2. You never know what Aston Martin are going to be up to. It's fell away a bit. You know, Haas and McLaren are also there or thereabouts as well. Their lineups not the best as well. Mercedes has the better lineup, but don't have the car as well. But anyway, let's reveal the livery for Season 3. Now, a little bit of a disclaimer about this livery. This isn't actually the livery we're racing with for the majority of this season, because it looks like the Las Vegas livery is going to be added, and that's what I've gone for. Obviously Santander on the rear wing, replacing the Ferrari word mark. You know, the Las Vegas style livery, if you haven't seen it already, it's basically like the old Santander livery. So that's the vibe I'm going for with that. Until that gets added, this is the livery we've got. I can't do anything with, unfortunately, what we had previously with the Monza livery, because the F1 sports update thing, that basically changed that, and that livery can't be done anymore because they changed the paint file basically. But yeah, overall, I mean, with what I've got to work with, I'm happy the way this turned out, and I'm looking forward to showing you what I'm going to create with the Las Vegas livery when that gets put on the game. Now, our teammate is Carlos Sainz, so not Leclerc. Leclerc was the closest challenger of Ferraris to Verstappen, so that is very interesting. We'll have to wait and see what we can. I've been teammates with Sainz before, and it's not always ended well, so we'll see what we can do with Sainz to win this championship. Now, I should explain something before I carry on. There has been an engine regulation change And that means that to fit this storyline, the 2026 engine regulations have been brought forward one season to 2025, as requested by Renault and Alpine to try and improve their horrible engine, although it hasn't quite worked for them on the R&D tree. We'll see how it does in real life. So Ford are here, they're ready, along with Red Bull. Obviously it's the same new livery, but it's the same lineup of Perez and Verstappen. Of course, they finished 1-2 in the championship in season 3, despite the fact they weren't really there. You know, the form that those two showed at the end of last season was to come out of nowhere and just basically dominate the second half of the season. I'll have to wait and see what the Ford engine can do, because obviously it's a brand new engine. Whether there's going to be issues for them, whether it's going to be down on power compared to the Honda, we'll have to wait and see. But if it is, then they'll be vulnerable, and that's our chance to take a commanding lead in the championship. Mercedes were really poor at the end of season 2. They'll be looking for bounce back and show the form they started at the start of season 2, when Lando Norris was championship leader and looking to run away with the championship at that point. They've got a new title sponsor in the form of DHL, so yeah, obviously with the yellow down of it. Do need to have a look at a little bit of revision with this livery as well, to try and remove that odd bit of chrome on the side pod. But yeah, other than that, obviously they've retained Lando Norris and George Russell, which, you know, Russell really didn't do that much in season 2. He needs to discover the form that he had in 2022, because he hasn't shown it in real life and he hasn't shown it in the game either. Alpine, difficult for them. They've lost BWT. Again, this is another livery I need to might make a change to or not, because of the blue being different between the side pod and the main part of it, but I might just leave it. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. But yeah, obviously they've got Xbox as the big sponsor, but they're paying just a fraction of what BWT were paying last season. So if you think about it, that's a lot of lost revenue for Alpine. They need to they need to sort of relearn their form, because with the driver line that they've got of Gasly and Ocon, they should be doing a lot better. They should be scoring consistent points. They have there or thereabouts on the R&D tree, so they can show that consistent points to do that. I do need to remove that BWT logo, by the way, from the front wing. Apologies about that. That will be gone at some point as well, because yeah, this you know, as with real life, because obviously Alpine still don't have a team principal, there are a lot of unknowns with that. We'll have to wait and see how they perform. Have they been able to resolve the engine problems that have plagued them so much in previous seasons that have gone by? We'll have to wait and see. McLaren are also another team that have lost a big sponsor in the form of Google. You know, the fact of the matter is they really did not perform in season 2. Piastri getting one win at Qatar. Yeah, Bottas is not the man that he was, you know, in seasons gone by when he was at Mercedes. He's still there along with Bottas, but whether or not there will be changes for this team, whether they'll be able to come up and show the fact that their car is good and, you know, get the best out of their car, I don't know. You know, obviously if it was a prime Bottas and a prime Piastri, then you think that should be enough for them both to be able to challenge for race wins and for a title. But the performance of the both of them have not been consistent, and there have been races where in season 2 they were not very good as well. United have come in as a new sponsor, remaining alongside Hilton. So yeah, we're in the Chrome era as well now, going through each of McLaren's 2023 liveries so far in this career mode. Now from a team that had changed their lineup, obviously I've left. Alonso did retire after announcing it 5,000 years ago that he was going to retire. Leclerc, you think he'd been able to have got a race seat at a better team, you know, like Mercedes or McLaren, but no. The best Leclerc can get is Alfa Romeo. Yeah. Notice the Umbro logo on the side. I haven't been able to fix the upside down thing on the side for some reason. Every logo I put on the rear wing appears upside down on the side. I don't know why that is. I think it's like the OKX logo in F122, if you know about that in modding terms. But yeah, obviously alongside Leclerc is Liam Lawson. So whether that's more Sauber's pick than Ferrari's pick, obviously Ferrari have invested in Alfa Romeo now that Audi have not decided not to pursue their engine. Whether or not they come in at a later date, we'll have to wait and see. Aston Martin, very tricky for them. Obviously they've got Honda in the back, so if Honda, it'll be interesting to see how that car gets on now that they've got the Honda power unit as opposed to the Mercedes power unit they've had in recent years. They retain their previous lineup of Yuki Tsunoda and more unconvincingly Nick De Vries. De Vries only scored 13 points, Tsunoda scored a lot more in Season 2. Whether or not Tsunoda can lead this team or not is yet to be seen. Whether or not Aston Martin and / Honda decide to get somebody else to replace De Vries if he doesn't perform, we'll have to wait and see. For now, will they be able to challenge for race wins? Tsunoda hasn't won yet in this career mode. They did pick up a couple of podiums at times throughout Season 2, but whether or not they have that enough to take that next step forward is yet to be seen. And of course, it's the British Racing Green on the Aston Martin. None of this Honda having a dominated livery as well. I don't think that when 2026 comes around that there will be any red or white on the car. Haas are probably the team that I've had the quietest winter. Not a lot has really changed for them. They're still in the midfield. None of their sponsors have really changed, and neither has their lineup. The thing that they need to focus on is making sure that their drivers score consistently, because they were very good at the start of the season again, just like Mercedes, but then fell off at the end of the season and started dropping out the points. Both cars. Hulkenberg will look to lead again. He's now obviously broken that duck of being on the podium as he did in Saudi Arabia, so whether or not he can continue that and score more podiums like both myself and K-Mag managed in Season 1, that's where they're aiming to get to. We'll have to wait and see about that. AlphaTauri, now things changed there. Hugo Boss, or Joe Lycett, has gone, and they've been replaced by Adidas as the main big sponsor. Don't really know where this team are going to be, because they've got a very experienced lineup from Season 2 of Albon and Magnussen still. Whether or not this team gets bought out in the future by someone else, we'll have to wait and see about that. But for now, Adidas is there as the big sponsor. They are probably providing a lot of money and have bought a part of that team, as have Ford, funny enough, which is a little bit interesting why Ford have done that, although I suspect that's to ensure that no other manufacturer can supply that team in the future. But for now, Red Bull are still the majority shareholders of AlphaTauri, the team. And they continue to try and import as many parts as possible from Red Bull, but they'll be looking for an increase in performance. After a slow start, they were there or thereabouts, sniffing around the top 10, especially with Albon at the end of last season. They need to score more points this season if they want any chance of challenging the midfield. Lastly, Williams. Williams have retained the same pay driver lineup of Lance Stroll and Logan Sargent. Obviously, Daddy Stroll, rumours were that he tried to replace Sargent after he was useless in Season 2 with either Ricciardo or Hamilton, who of course Hamilton's just recently retired, Ricciardo free agent, but neither were willing to join the team. So Sargent stays and survives. Whether or not either of these two can score than the 1 point that they managed in season two, probably not, because they will, be qualifying every week, P19 and P20. They're still down the bottom in the chart, and they don't have the drivers to pick this car up and put it in the midfield. So really, until they either invest in a decent driver or some decent upgrades, it's going to be last place, unfortunately, for Williams. So yes, that's where I'm going to leave it for today's video. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, see plenty more F123 Drive Career Mode videos as when they come out. Let me know which you think is the best livery in the comments below, and what you think is going to happen in season 3. Can I win that championship, or will it be Sainz? Who knows? Who knows? He is apparently 100 rated as well. Whether he can transfer that performance out on track is yet to be seen. So yeah, next race, Saudi Arabia, will be out next week. So yeah, until then, I'll see you next time. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.